dream is free. And I always think that to dream big. I mean, be dreaming on finish second. I think that is, it's a little bit stupid. Let's go to be dreaming to be first. So we really need to make mistakes and help and be on the side of the players when they make mistakes to try to correct. And because the success comes after fail, and the fail give us the chance to learn. There's a very difficult limit between protect the spot for the locals and overprotect the spots of the local. If you only allowed, let's go to put it example, one import, you have 4 players that, okay, they are playing, but they are playing against who? It's important not only play, it's play against who? Someone that can challenge you.
Hello friends, welcome to another episode of One-on-One with Jordan, the show where we go behind the scenes of basketball, leadership, and everything in between. Our guest today is the head coach of Taoyuan Pilots, a team that will be competing in the Basketball Champions League Asia East. Over his career, he has worked in top leagues like ACB in Spain, the B-League in Japan, and he has been involved in various coaching roles from the youth development to professional teams. It's my pleasure to welcome Coach Iurgi Caminos. Good morning, Coach. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me here. It's going to be a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, I think it will be a good conversation with you because I want to learn so much of the Spanish basketball, But before we dive into that, I would like you to introduce yourself in a different way. So let's just imagine you are writing a diary, right? A personal diary, and you need to write down a short intro of yourself. So something like, what got you here? Who are you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Something different. Hey, I like this. I'm a 46-year-old San Sebastian guy. I'm born on a small city with a lot of sports culture. This is why maybe we have a lot of passion of this sports. Football team in first division with a lot of history, basketball teams, handball teams, rugby teams. We are one small region that is able to have teams in first division in a lot of sports in Spain, something not easy. With most of the players being local, being from the region, with a big mentality of develop the things that we have on our land, we can say. This brings me the opportunity to work on the professional sport because this culture of bet on the local talent give me one day the challenge to be assistant coach on the team of my city, start a career. And I have to say that how I finished in Taiwan finally are things that happen on the life. One call, one day you go to Japan to do a clinic, a campus, you stay there, someone in Taiwan see you, they don't know. Sometimes it's like really difficult to know how you finish because I never have on my mind the idea of being a professional coach. This is something that was happening and the opportunities arrived. I have to say that on my first opportunity, I was not ready. But after this, I learned that in case that something can come, try to prepare, try to learn, and try to be ready for whatever can happen. And this brings me to Asia and this season to discover more and more about Asia, playing the ESL and visiting more countries.
Okay, cool. It's quite a fun journey from your hometown and then all over the world. And then from B-League to Taiwan and
yeah. I mean, yes. And I think that is, like I'm saying, it's something that I never planned. I never planned to be a coach. I know that maybe, especially professional players, when they retire, they are thinking, I want to be coach. And most of them, for them, if they are like elite players, the door is like a little bit more open for the people that we need to be going step by step. I finished my high school and I start coaching kids of under 12, under 14, under 16, under 18. I start with a senior assistant coach on pro level, head coach on like the semi-professional on the fourth division in Spain. I start growing to more divisions, have a chance, but never have a plan. These things come. And like I say, on my first time, I was not ready because it was not my idea. But on the moment that I start being like more professional or being like closer, I use always my free time to try to learn, to try to prepare in case that someone gives me the chance.
Yeah, just stay prepared every time.
We have to. I mean, that's true that, like I say, maybe the first time was like a big surprise. I was not expecting this and I was not ready. I have to accept that I was not ready. And during my first year was really hard and I started learning to be prepared. But after this, it's like be learning because we never know what can happen. We never know who can bet on us for a better spot, not only on basketball. I think that on anything on the line.
But and in this season, like in with Pilots, you guys are in the Final Four of the East Asia Super League, and then you guys are leading the Plus League table, top team right now, top seed. And I learned that because yesterday, I watched a video you shared. The Pilots are going for a historical double, right? In the EASL and in the Plus League.
Double or triple. We play the BCL Asia also. Dream is free. And I always think that to dream big. I mean, be dreaming on finish second. I think that it's a little bit stupid. Let's go to be dreaming to be first. But still a dream. I mean, the reality right now on the Eastern Asia Super League Final Four, we know that there are another 3 teams, really competitive, really good teams. Best 2 teams from the B-League. We can say that right now maybe the B-League is the strongest league in all Asia. How much the level of the local players growing last year. We see Japan playing a World Cup, even winning games there, and the level of the imports that they have right now. A lot of players in Europe that they are on the Euro League, but some players on the moment that they are not on this top level on Europe, they want to go to the B League. The salary conditions are really high, and this gave them the name of maybe right now the best league in Asia. Be there competing with the New Taipei Kings and Hiroshima and Ryukyu. For us, it's a big challenge, and are 2 games, so everything can happen, I think.
All right, cool. And what has this journey been so far? Because I think this team has developed so much, and a lot of people was talking about the development of certain players like Justin, right? Lu Junxiang.
Yeah, Lu Junxiang.
Yeah. They call him the 69大魔王 and stuff like that. A lot of fans like this really develop under your leadership. So what's this journey has been so far?
I mean, on this is something that is not only on me, it's even the plan of the team, because when I arrived here, even the team made a long contract with me. From the first season that I arrived, our management, our owner start understanding how some of the veteran players that we have were not on the spot that the team won, and the team was betting on Lu Chunxian, on Li Jiakan, on Pai, on all these kids to grow, on Lin Chen, that maybe are the main local players that we have on the roster. And the team even bet on something that I always feel that happened in Japan, maybe was higher, how there's this mentality on when there's a veteran, the youngs respect a lot the veteran, and even they are not able to step on them because there's a culture, and the team bet on keeping these veterans there, to put these players there, and their mentality, their work, and not only on me, the coaching staff that I want that helped them a lot to give them a space to play, and having the space to play, they are showing that they have potential. This is not only on me. I think that is a part more even on the team, that every time that I talk with my owner, he got the experience of build the team long time ago with 4 SVLs, 4 championships in the one in a row, a little bit with the same idea. I feel like take these young kids, develop, put together, and help them grow it. Something that I'm always thinking how much we as a coaches, we are thinking to our owners, like, hey, give me time to develop something, no? When maybe the owners were really in rush looking for the results, and as a coaches, we know that they need time. And me as a coach with my players, I was thinking the same, they need time. And even making mistakes from my first year, we really bet on them, thinking like the experience of make these mistakes can give them the chance to learn and they be more and more competitive. And I mean, everybody's talking about more about like Justin Luchunsian, but he's not the only player. Maybe he's right now like the head of this local group of players.
Yeah, I think a lot of coaches, like, they don't allow the kids, the players, to make mistakes, because once they make mistakes, they will sit them down, and then everything, they cannot learn from the mistakes. That's the way I feel it.
And how we learn on this life if we don't make mistakes. I always remember, and I think that is typical when we are kids. We say to our kids like, "Hey, don't put your two fingers because you can take the electricity." But if you don't do it, you don't know how hard it is. So we really need to make mistakes and help and be on the side of the players when they make mistakes to try to correct. And because the success comes after fail, and the fail give us the chance to learn. So if we don't give the players the option to make mistakes and keep learning, of course, I think that always there's a limit of how many times you can repeat the same mistake. Because if you are not able to learn, it's a problem. No, but this is basketball. I think that this is life. I mean, anybody born knowing how to do everything perfect. The difference is how quick you learn from the mistakes to really adapt as better as possible to be better.
Yeah, that's right. I totally agree with that. And now we saw like 2 days ago, we saw Justin. He put on a show in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. I saw you in the game as well.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, I like to go to these games of the national team. Even the Philippines have two players that we play against them on the ESAL. Like happened. I mean, I'm from Spain. I'm in Taiwan 4 years ago, but I was more focused on follow my local league because it's where I compete. This summer qualifying to the ESAL was a little bit more stressful summer. I know that I play against a Japanese team. I know the P.LEAGUE. I follow because I was there, but I never followed the KBL from Korea. Was my first game was against Korean team. Start watching Korean finals, start knowing more players. A little bit the same with Philippines, where you can see Philippines on the World Cup, but you only see 12 players, or even you see 8 or 9 players, the main players. And now you need to be watching more and more and more. And these games are good. Of course, having players there. Luchunsian was on the roster, but even Lin Chen was not on the roster, but we play against Hong Kong. And one of the assistant coaches is part of my coaching staff also. So always happy to be on these games.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I think it's just the East Asia Super League Final Four is like just 2 weeks away. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I think in Macau, I'll be there and watching you guys.
Oh, good. It's going to be fun. And this is for me, this is how I take it. Like something, I talk with some of my players. I remember one of the games against Hiroshima. One of my players see his face like really nervous because, hey, we can be first. We are playing for, he didn't play well. He was so nervous at the beginning. The game maybe gave him the confidence and talking to him, I say something like really important that I try to do with myself. It's like, so we are on these important games to feel nervous. So why we play? Why we work every day? Why we go every day for practice? We go to enjoy these games. So we need to try to really understand that if we don't enjoy this moment, because now we know we are going to have an ESAL Final Four, there's no guarantee that we are going to back to this spot in our lives. So let's go there to have fun and to do our best. And don't be thinking too much don't stress too much, because don't get with these regrets on them, like, I was not good there, I didn't enjoy, like, hey, life, we don't know where we are going to put us. And I don't know if I'm going to be again on a Final Four like this. We have the Macau Classic before, where the arena is really nice to play. How the hotel is there is really like easy, comfortable. And now it's the Final Four, so let's go to prepare as better as we can. We are going to have days to prepare the semifinals against the Ryukyu Golden Kings, and enjoy this journey from Monday when you prepare the practice, and then when you are with your game plan, with your ideas, how to defend the Kishimoto, how to do this with the Kuli, how to do this with all these things. Enjoy it, to call for a game and have fun on that game.
Yeah, the most important thing is like stay prepared, and then have fun, because that's the only thing you can control. The outcome, you cannot control about the outcome.
Agree. I mean, these are be focused on yourself, be focused on what you can do, be focused on what is on your hands, and other things are not on your hands. Especially be understanding that you need to go there to enjoy. It is a little bit, I read you a lot of times on Instagram, your stoic quotes too. So this is a little bit like the memento mori is 100% like this. We don't know where we are going to be tomorrow. So let's go to enjoy the moment of today.
Exactly. Memento mori is in my hand. Yeah, I got this. Memento mori.
Yeah. I think that is a really important, especially like this mentality for this game, and be prepared to lose, because it's part of the game. Nothing happened. I mean, even if we lose, the life will continue. I remember that before the game against the Hong Kong Eastern, with the assistant coach that was doing the scouting, and he used to be my translator with Ko, even I was like really like a strong thinking like, hey, we are better team. We have to win, but I know we can lose. I told him like, hey, whatever happened, we enjoy the journey. We enjoy this trip till here. We can lose. It's a sport. Even the best team in the world, why not, can lose one day against the worst, even the United States on the Olympics. Everybody's thinking that they are going to win every game, and they can lose games. It's part of the sport where win is not guaranteed.
You mentioned about enjoy the journey, and also just now you mentioned about the BCL as well. So let's talk about BCL, because BCL pilots and our team, Malaysian team, and especially students. So it's
in the first game.
We are in the same group, and it's happened in the first game as well. So, so let's talk about the BCL.
First, we got a little bit on the side. I was more focused on what we have now. I know, because I read you how the Malaysian Federation will use this to prepare the national team. So right now it's difficult to know who is going to play. It's not the same team that was playing the league. It's not the same team that was using the import players that were on the country. Even now we have Jabari Bird that was in Malaysia. He came to Taiwan to play. It's something like a new challenge. We have Malaysia, we have Indonesia, we have Mongolia, 3 new countries, 3 new basketballs, more things to learn, more players to discover, completely different from we are coming. A little bit, even the rules. We are coming from this, like you can have 2 imports, naturalized, foreign student. Now you go with like, hey, FIBA rules, local players, 3 imports. For us, it's a big challenge. We keep exactly the same roster that we are using on the ESL. I can say like even we can consider a little bit better, where we have Mustafa MD as a foreign student, and now we can put there one of our imports that we have on the P.LEAGUE. But interesting, like I say, I remember to see a little bit Malaysia on the last Jones Cup. They play here in Taiwan. I used to be watching these games, but I didn't have time to start really learning, because like we talk, I mean, we are going to have the ESL soon. So I was more focused on organize how we travel, when we play, how we can match up the schedule with the league. And the BCL, for example, for us right now, that you talk about how we were first on the P.LEAGUE, for us it's really important to finish first on the P.LEAGUE, avoid the semifinals, because we are going to have some of the window, the new Taipei window, the Taipei window in the days that are the semifinals, and I don't want to be playing the semifinals and try to be focused, because I'm really grateful now having the chance to be playing all these international games, because I had the chance to do it in Europe. And when you play against different countries, different type of basketball, new players, is always a good challenge. And like I say, it's something new that you learn, and learn things keep our mind really alive, because we have new things. So I really like it.
But the BCL Asia is like in March, right? And now you guys are preparing for the EASL Final Fours, and also focus on the P.LEAGUE. So is it like difficult for you to prepare for like 3 competition in a short span of time?
Yes or no? I mean, our mix, depending the weeks. Some weeks are difficult, because I remember December, we have one moment that we play ESL game Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, home games on the P.LEAGUE, Tuesday, P.LEAGUE game, another Saturday, Sunday P.LEAGUE, and then another Wednesday. We have like really tough weeks. There is a little bit difficult because you have too many things on your mind. That when, especially on my coaching staff, some of my assistant coaches, we separate who do the scouting of every team. And you have the guy that is talking about the ESL game, even before the P.LEAGUE game, he's talking to you about like, hey, we have to prepare this for these games. I mean, you don't have like a week to really prepare pure scouting. So you need to try to take all this info and adapt rules that you want to use for all these games. And on this, it's difficult. But at the same time, I mean, I'm lucky having a group of assistant coaches where they take their individual responsibility. And when they have all the info they gave me, and I try to put it together to simplify a little bit my work. But there's another point where we can only be focused on the game that we have now. I mean, if for example, this next week I have to start to prepare in my game against the Kaohsiung Steelers before the Final Four, I can't go to Kaohsiung talking to my players the set of Ryukyu Golden Kings, because there's nothing better than arrive with good feelings to the next game. Of course, you can be managing a little bit minutes, a little bit who play, some ideas that can be useful on the next game, but always you need to be, I mean, we need to be winning on our local league also. We are close, really close to mathematically be first. And as close as earlier we do is going to be better. And on this point is like, it's fun. It's funny. It's not easy. It's not easy because when you have 10 days, I remember our first ESL game was our first official game of the season. Wow. Where we went to Korea after 10 days preparing the game. The game plan was really good for the players. They execute really good because they have a lot of time to prepare. But during the season, this is impossible.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I asked, because for sure there will be so many things inside your head. You have different games.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you have time to talk with the Malaysian coach for their first window, because are 3 games in 4 days, they are going to be only focused a little bit on the first, because you don't know how it's going to be the second, and it's really difficult. So that's true that we have here the habit on the P.LEAGUE to play back-to-back home games against different teams. And a little bit you are prepared knowing like, okay, for Sunday, maybe I'll need this, but you put more emphasis on the Saturday game always.
Okay, that's cool. Now I understand a bit. Say the coaching life, how you guys prepare for games, multiple games, like inside 1 week or like a short. And another thing is I really want to talk. Actually, I have been wanting to talk to you for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. And finally, I have the chance to talk to you about it. Because, you know, the last time I remember I watched an interview of you with the Plastic, the P.LEAGUE official channel. And both of them, they asked you about Spanish basketball. And they asked why Spain, you guys didn't have a superstar during the Euro Championship. But at the end, Spain still won the championship. And then your reply is, because Spanish players, they have high basketball IQ. Then they know how to play basketball and they are good at decision making. And that got me thinking like, wow, I really want to talk to you about this topic, like the decision making, the Spanish basketball. So yeah. So can you tell us something about the Spanish basketball?
I think that on this, maybe we need to go like a little bit deep on when Spain started really creating the school of coaches. On this, even we have like 3 different levels. The first and the second level, you do more like regional, but the third level, like the license to be, because you need a license to be coach on ACB or even senior. This you do 15 days, 8 hours class in different locations. So you are like really focused on this. And I feel that this school of coaches create the habit of like learn more, study more the game. From the beginning in Spain was a lot of emphasis on strategy, on how to read the game, because the players cannot be thinking when they are on the court. If you think, you are too slow to take the right decision. So you need to be repeating. And in my case, when I was coaching like younger kids, always like the reduced situations of 2 against 1, 2 against 2, 3 against 2, 3 against 3, 4 against 3, always like go growing on this. I think that is one of the keys on the teaching of how to read the game, from the simple to the more difficult, from bigger space on the court to reduce the space on the court. Usually for these things, for example, for first and second level, now no, because I'm in Asia, but usually I used to be teacher of my region. And one of the things that we need to teach is about like the methodology of how you are going to teach something. And on this is this process about how we are doing from the simple. You can do, when we work the skills, it's 1 against 0. You see the players doing a lot of skills. But these skills, without knowing when you can use it, never work. So that's why we need to implement these things. And there's nothing like repeat. And there's nothing like repeat, make mistakes. And on this practice, make these mistakes and be on the side of the player is on the way like we can teach them to be taking better and better decisions. It's a part on the, I'm not going to say only on the basketball, it's even in another sports, it's a little bit the same culture. I've been in Japan on my first season in Japan. I met a Spanish handball player, and now he's a coach in Japan. And he told me exactly the same that we have in basketball. How he said, like, the Japanese have a lot of skills. They have the body, they have the speed, but they don't know how to take decisions on the game. And he compared the Spanish handball with like Denmark, Sweden, like they are competing with Spain always on the top, and exactly the same. Most of the times, not being the strongest, the faster, the biggest. It's about the decision that we take on the game. And this is something that maybe create on the culture of the coaches.
So in Spain, right? How do you guys practice decision making from a young age? From which young age you guys started to practice the decision making?
I would say that from all. I mean, when I start coaching, and if I coach like kids, we can say like we start like under 10, under 12 with a small basket. There you start playing as simple 3 against 2. How you work the decision making? No, this, read this, what happened? And they teach them to read the game. There are different ways to teach. Even the Greek philosophers talk about these ways to teach also. And it's about find the solutions, the methods of find the solutions. I can tell to the kid, no, you have to pass there. But if he don't know why and what's the reason, on the next time, he's not going to be able to read, no? So help the players and talk with the players. And even here in Taiwan with my players, the way that I like to teach is a little bit the same. It's like, why we do this is because look at this. Look how the defense is here. Look where you can have the advantage. And and everything on this life, if we don't understand why, we are never going to be able to do it well. So this is a little bit the point. This is a little bit on the way that you talk to the player about how to find the correct solution. This is something sometimes that here comparing with Spain, I found it is like here you see the kids, and if one kid is like open, a lot of times the coaches say, shoot, you are open. You are open. In Spain, we are going to say like, are you a good shooter? So you are not open. They allowed you to be open. So it's not a good shot. So maybe when you are ready to make the shot, it's going to be a good shot. But you need to work for the team. And if you are not a good shooter, and for example, when I was a player, I was not a good shooter. So I learned to play no shooting. Or even a lot of times I try to show to my players here about, it's difficult maybe for Asian know who is Victor Sada, but he played for FC Barcelona. He was not a good shooter. He never shoot. And the defense forget about him. So he learned to play not being a shooter instead of frustrate of, I don't shoot, I want to shoot and I don't know what to do. This is a little bit the difference where to find the good decisions, base it even on your skills or what you can do, and not be thinking that you and me, the same spot, the same shot is good. Maybe you are a great shooter, you are open, it's a good shot. I'm open, I'm a bad shooter, it's a bad shot. So this is the talk about the decision making, even is the shot that you take and when you take and how you take.
And I think it's interesting because we always say you are open for a reason. If you are wide open,
for sure,
you are open for a reason.
If you are really, really open on this, you've been in Macau. If you remember our game against KT, they arrived with their main point guard hurt at that moment, and they have a backup point guard. And this backup point guard, the games before, started playing a lot on the post because he had size, but he was not a shooter. And I put Alec Brown, my 7-footer, guarding a point guard. And on the moment that we put him on a spot like shooting because he don't want to shoot, he struggled because he don't know what to do. And it's important to teach the players, to even teach them what you can do when you are not on the spot that you are strong, because the opponent is going to put you there. The strategy is like, okay, if you are good on the post, I will try to put you far from the post. So you need to do something. If you are not a good shooter, you need to learn to do something different. And these things on the game is try to teach them to read their advantage. And from the beginning, you try to be working on this, because not always everybody's going to be able to make all the shots. There's ability. They are better shooter and worse shooter, not because they practice more, because they have the ability also.
I think making decision, read the game and react and making good decision is a very, very important part of the game, because I notice a lot of, like in Malaysia also, like players, they follow the instructions. Coach tells them to, like, you go there, this play, like the horns, you dribble here and then you pass. Like, okay, they follow step by step. But what if the opponent, they take away your options, and suddenly, like some players, they don't know how to react. Like, oh no, coach told me to go here, but I cannot go here anymore. So what do I do? Like stuff like that happen
everywhere. I mean, and on this is one of the things that I see now on my team, is how in 3 years, the players that they start 3 years ago, they improve this decision making, because I never put them like close sets, and I always try to put them on the situation like, we cannot do a close set, because, okay, this close set, when the defense show on the pick and roll, but when they go under, don't go good this pass here. So you need to learn to read, okay, the defense do this on you. You need to understand where you can find the advantage. And of course, on this, like we talked before, there's one part, we need to make mistakes. We do mistakes. Every Monday or Tuesday, depending when we start the week, I prepare my post-game video. And most of the times, this post-game video is about tactical situations of how to read the advantage, how to read where's the defense, how to read where we can be better, and repeat, and repeat, and repeat. It's important if this, that maybe in Spain, we do it earlier. I don't know here. I follow a little bit the high school league in Taiwan, because one of my assistant coaches was a head coach there. I follow a little bit, but I don't know how they practice. And this is the key on the way that, as a coach, we need to try to always reduce the maximum, the times of they repeat the mistakes without learning. And on this is, sometimes I feel that depends on the system. I don't know how it's in Malaysia. Here in Taiwan, I feel that the system for the kids is not good. They used to be playing maybe 6 games in 7 days. And then they got like a 1 month or 6 weeks, no games. And I think that they don't understand that the game is a tool. It's not the goal. It's a tool to develop. And if I play one game, I make mistakes. I have 5 days. I work on these mistakes. I have another game. I can test if I really learn about these mistakes. And on this process of playing one game a week and not like happened here, I feel that the coaches have more time to work on their mistakes, and the players have time to practice without the pressure of the game. Because when you say how coaches, sometimes we want, we want the result now. It's because maybe our boss asked for the result now. And if we have one game and we have time, we always have time to be preparing for the next and go a little bit more step by step. But it's a process on repeat. And like I said, as a coaches, be a little bit stubborn, repeating the mistakes. And finally, one day, the kids are going to have this on their mind, like really inside, and not thinking about it.
I think the system here is about the same as in Taiwan, because we also, like, we have a national championship, like a one week tournament. and then like the team will play same thing, like 5 games in 1 week or 6 games in 1 week. Yep. That's pretty tough for the kids as well.
But this in Spain, for example, we have our local leagues by region. Every region have their divisions. And of course, when you arrive to the Spanish championship, to the last stage, you play in 1 week, you play 6 games. It's only the last stage. But when you arrive there, you already have all the seasons to be playing only 1 game on the weekend and having a lot of weeks to learn. Of course, when it's a Spanish championship, the last you can do you can move these kids like a lot of trouble. So you put one location and you play there, but your season, you have in 10 months, 1 game a week. So this is, when you arrive there, is only the last week of the season. That is the only way to do it, because you need to understand that Real Madrid and Barcelona, for example, or Juventud or Baskonia, we play different locations, and we have a lot of teams on our local areas, so we are playing our local leagues. And when you advance, you qualify to the Spanish championship, and when you are on the Spanish championship, you have like a group phase, and then quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. Usually the groups, when you have Real Madrid, that even Real Madrid, maybe they can have 6 foreign players on the under 18 team. I mean, you have examples like Luka Doncic was there like really, really young. Their first group, they win easy. But we know like maybe the best 6 teams in the under 18 Spain or under 16, they are really good teams. Some of them, like I said, you have Luka Doncic. I remember when I saw Domantas Sabonis playing semifinals or under 18, finish the game and traveling to take an airplane to play ACB game. And he was a kid with 17 years. So I remember when I saw Rudy Fernandez, Ricky Rubio, all these kids playing. And you know that there's a moment when they arrive with the top 6 that the games are really tough. But before, they play a lot of games and they have time.
Okay. So because you talk about the Spanish system, right? This is one thing I'm interested in as well. Because in Spain, you guys are school-based. You play in school, or you play in state team, or like the professional club system? Because like you mentioned, a lot of the young kids like Rubio, he already with the Barcelona like age 14 or 15,
Yeah.
and Doncic
14.
14, right?
in ACB. 14 on ACB.
And then Doncic, he played for Real Madrid, like 15 years old and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The kids, what is the player pathway for the Spanish players or even the players in the Europe?
I think that most of the countries in Europe, the structure is exactly the same. It's like the football teams. We have clubs. Your club can be competing in ACB like Real Madrid. Your club can be competing in the second division. Your club can be competing on the third division. For the Basketball Federation in Spain, on the moment that you have a team more, I mean, we can have like 6 divisions, a little bit on this first 6 division. Your club is mandatory to have 2 teams under 18, under 16.
Okay.
So you need to have most of the clubs, which I would say like, I'm not going to say 100%, but most of the clubs, I mean, when we talk about the league, the ACB, they have under 10 academies, under 12, under 14, under 16, under 18. As an example, the Cup of Spain that was last week, we played the under 14 tournament with all the ACB teams. They play under 14 tournament. So the structure of the kids start from the bottom, and the kids are always allowed to play in one competition more than your age. If my license is under 14, I'm allowed to be playing games with my under 16 team.
Okay.
This is really important because usually for example, when I was on the base before leaving Spain on my last club, my under 16 team, we have 2 kids that even both play for the Spanish under 20 national team. And they were playing with my team some games, but they practice with the under 18 every day. And they play games with the under 18. When I was coaching the senior team of that team on the Spanish third division, I used to have on practice maybe 2 days a week minimum my best under 18 players. So like this, you do, instead of going like the step by step, you go on a line on the development. And when you have a kid that maybe for your regional league is under 18, is really good, and is everyday killing, and is like, maybe is too tall, you put him on the senior team on practice, you put him playing, and you challenge him. And this is one of the things that maybe in Europe happen what don't happen in even on the United States, because United States, Luka Doncic was not able to be playing with 18 on the NBA. But Luka Doncic, when already was 18, he played 2 years the EuroLeague, because when he was 16, he started playing for Real Madrid. So this give the players that they are really good the chance to have early challenge and keep challenging, because if not, maybe like the line of growing kind of stop when you don't have anyone that challenge you.
So that means the system in Spain is like the club teams will like the main character, the main thing in the system. So let's say if in your region, okay.
Yes, and I cut here because at the same time, the local federations, they used to do groups with the best local players. So we have under 12, under 14, and under 16, we have the club championships. They play with their teams. And if you are good on your local league, you qualify for the next. And if you are good on the next, you play the Spanish championship. So we can say that a small city of my hometown in San Sebastian can play against Real Madrid, the finals of Spain, because one good generations, and in my hometown happened, we have some good generations that they compete on the top on Spain, some players that they play Spanish national team. But at the same time, under 12, under 14, and under 16, we have the Spanish championships of regions. The Basque Country, where I am, they do maybe 2-3 weeks, but they put the best players from the best teams from the region practice together. But at the same time, the talent is spread, but they are putting sometimes together to practice together, and they compete together with the jersey of the Basque region, under 12, under 14, and under 16. So, and this gives it the chance, even sometimes to players that they are playing on their small town, but they are good, to, because maybe their team is not good, to compete with the best players of their region on their Spanish championship. So we have two. One is the teams, and another is the regions.
Okay. So let's say if there is a kid in your region, in your hometown, which is really good, and then is it possible, like maybe big teams like Real Madrid or Barcelona, they have a scout there, or they spotted this kid. Oh, this kid really good. We want to recruit him to our academy. Is it possible?
Happen is like this, just like this. Of course, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventud, they used to be recruiting the best. Right now, from my hometown, we have Darío Brizuela. He was on this Spanish national team that they won the Eurobasket. He played for FC Barcelona. And I remember Darío, maybe when he was already, when he was 12, he showed his talent. When he was 14, he got interest from better teams. But the team of our city on his age was enough good competitive. And he left the city with his last under 18 year. He went to Estudiantes, but before he got offers, but he got a chance to be competing good on his home team. And this is a part where not only depends on if a team wants you, it's about my team is competitive, I'm learning, and you have one, on this is the point. He's under 16, he's really good. So we can give him a chance to be playing the under 18. So he can stay at home because he's challenging his game also, because he's playing against bigger bodies, older, or this is a little bit the point. I coach a kid, like he got offers when he was under 16 also, and he decided to stay at home. This is a part where depends on families, on what they want, but of course, Real Madrid and Barcelona, they sign players from rest of Spain, and right now even from rest of the Europe. We talk about Luka Doncic, but we can talk about Mario Hezonja. He arrived really early to Barcelona. Now he play NBA. Now he's playing in in Real Madrid. I remember, Kristaps Porzingis, everybody knows from the NBA. He played in Sevilla in a team of South because he left Latvia with 16, something like this. I remember to see him really early. So not only local players, they signed even European players.
Yeah, this one, you talk about signing European players to the Spanish team, right? And this
signing is because in Spain after 16 you can work, you can earn money, so they pay money.
Yeah, and this got me thinking because a lot of people like in Asia, I think maybe in Taiwan also they have this thinking like we need to limit the foreign players. We cannot like open but in Spanish ACP, if I'm not mistaken, they have the less local players in one team. Like let's say in Barcelona or Real Madrid, maybe they only have 5 local players in one team, or majority of the
Baskonia or Murcia right now they don't have Spanish players.
Well, so
they don't have Spanish players playing. But this is a point at the same time that this is a professional league. We need to understand first. Europe and Spain have things to understand about the laws. You consider Spain as a country, but Spain is part of the European Union. The European Union laws allowed to all the European people. We don't need visas to travel. We don't need visas to work. So I'm Spanish. I can be in Germany 3 years in a row, not like limit like when you travel there. This means that I'm free to work there. So the league cannot put limitations on these French, German people because they are European. And there's a law over Spanish law that says like all the European, we are free to travel, free to move, free to work. This creates even a new rules in Spain where a European, like Italian kid that come to the Spanish under 16 team, he's considered 100% Spanish because he grew basketball in Spain, so he got local Spanish. Of course, right now, the Spanish basketball, we are not like years ago with the Gasol brothers, Navarro, and playing the finals of the Olympics, amazing games against the United States and being close to win. Even the World Cup in China, even Spain won that World Cup. We are right now not having all this talent that we had before, and start being a little bit the discussion about like for the last FIBA window, it's difficult even have a big number of Spanish players playing on the ACB minutes, but still a professional league, and there's a problem there because there's a business where they can say like the problem is when the spots for the Spanish are mandatory, some of the Spanish players you need to overpay. And some good Italian players are cheaper than one regular Spanish player because are not too many, and like the price of this player increase. So, it's not easy, but that's true that in Spain, like I say, right now, 2 teams, they don't have any Spanish players playing. But Unicaja Málaga, they won the cup. They play the Basketball Champions League in Europe, and FIBA forced them to have minimum 4 Spanish players. So they won the cup with the Spanish players, something that is also good.
This is something interesting because we have the discussion, like what I want to say is in Asia, we always talk about we have to limit the foreign players so that the local players has the time to develop and have the chance to play. But in Spain, you don't have the restriction. You can have like just now when you mentioned like 2 teams, they don't even have Spanish players. But the Spanish basketball, the Spain national team, they are still very, very competitive still, and Spain still can produce a lot of good players. That's the interesting part because you don't limit the foreign players, but you still have a very strong national team.
There's a very difficult limit between protect the spot for the locals and overprotect the spots of the local. If you only allowed, let's go to put it example, 1 import, you have 4 players that, okay, they are playing, but they are playing against who? It's important not only play, it's play against who? Someone that can challenge you. That's why where's the balance between they are competing, and if we put more imports, the level of the leagues grow. And this is a point that I have really clear. You talk about the game of the team Taiwan against Philippines recently, and I'm pretty sure that watching the age of these kids, most of them are new generations, like Abashi, like Liu Chunxian. Some of these kids, they went to China to play, but I feel that Taiwan now having 3 imports on the game, the level is increasing. So every minute that a local player play, have more quality. And it's not about quantity, it's about quality too. What is the perfect balance? I don't know. Anybody knows. That's why sometimes the leagues start changing this rule. But you need to find a balance between competitive and play the minutes. Because I would say like 40 minutes non-competitive, 40 minutes between you and me are not as good as if we play 20, but we play against someone better. These 20 minutes give us more quality. And when we have this is when we can improve our game.
Exactly. Totally agree. So, Coach, you have worked in various teams, the different level teams in Asia, also in Japan, in Taiwan. And how do you implement those Spanish philosophy, basketball philosophy in different situation or different culture?
First, trying to learn as quick as possible from where they come. I don't think that we need to adapt to the place that we go. This is the first thing. I mean, we need to adapt to the life. We need to adapt to the style that they practice. And we can say that we can be putting small things with time, but we cannot change completely the mentality because we don't know from where they come. We talk about how we are start maybe working when they are under 12, under 14, under 16. And here you take the players and they got 28. So the base that they have is different. And from their base, try to adapt a little bit. There are things like, of course, is a little bit different. One of my assistant coaches, I know that he was head coach before, and he was, my first year, he was surprised because we were practice less time than what they used to practice. And he was like, we can't win like this. We don't practice enough. And sometimes it's not about practice more. It's about practice more efficient. So the game is a little bit the same. How to do it? Like I'm saying, trying to read as quick as possible what they have from where they come and adapt what the knowledge that I can have from Spain or the knowledge that other coaches have from their countries on what we think that can help them. But this is it's really important to really don't arrive like a big elephant destroying everything. You need to open the door slow. You need to look what you have and maybe start thinking like this chair here is not on the good space. They got to put the table here, this chair here. The sofa may be better looking, but not start there and take this off and try to this. If you try this, I think that it's really difficult to have success because their players have some knowledge that they are really inside them and you need to adapt to this.
Okay, good. So is there any practicals like exercise, some tips for our coaches, like for those who are listening? Can you give them some tips for like how to improve their decision making? Any practice, any drills?
Long time ago, one good friend, now he's 68, he was a legendary coach in Spain. He always told me, and this I keep it, and it's the best advice that I can give. Be stubborn. Repeat, and always be thinking, keep on your mind that players will forget the things and you need to keep back to repeat. And when you are working any drill, you need to be stubborn. You cannot be, sometimes I feel like when you see the players maybe playing too much and the coach like looking and not correct, I feel like you need to correct. They make the mistake. On the moment that you see the mistake, maybe wait a little bit. If he repeat the mistake and explain why. And the best advice that even I try to do it on the life is never use no. It's not, don't do that. It's like, do this because this. Because when I say to a player, don't do that, he don't know why. And to understand the things, we cannot use negative words. We need to use positive words to teach us. Because when it's no, it's like, no, but why? So you cannot say no. You need to say this because of this. Or this because of this. I think that is really important how we communicate because we are teachers, and it's exactly the same when we go to a school. I feel that I'm pretty sure that when you were at school, when you were studying, you find sometimes one teacher like really motivate you to learn because on the way that he talk the things. And so that's why I think that it's really important even how we talk to them to motivate them to really be able to learn. And this is one thing, like as a coaches, sometimes we read the books, we watch the clinics, but how about how we teach? And it's really important. Sometimes it's not about how much you know, it's about how much you teach. And on this is a point that we need to be working these both sides, like the strategy and the psychology to teach also.
So in your team right now in Pilots, what drills do you use to give the players to practice, to repeat, like you said, the decision-making part of the game?
First, we used to have two different parts. First one is like we work the individual skills every week. We keep working 1 against 0. Luckily, like I say, I have good coaching staff. I have one coach like really like the skills, and the year by year, I give him the responsibility of be working on this. We talk about, hey, we need to improve this. And on this, he works with the simple part, the skills. Most of this part of the skills are not empty, are part maybe of our playbook on situations that the players are going to find when we play 5-on-5. From this, after this big part, of course, when we are playing 5-on-5, we are trying to teach them to read. I'm not playing against the same defense. I know this team play this defense, so we need to read this, what they can do. Maybe some players, the defense on some players can be show, in others can be push and under, in others it's only under. So on this, be adapting of the things that are coming and always putting attention on these details. More than the drill, it's not about what you run, it's how you execute everything. I don't think that it's a magic drill. Because if the drill don't have content, it's empty. It's about the content that you put. And sometimes you don't need to do too many difficult things. During the season, it's difficult. Like I'm saying, we skip to keep doing the drills, but the basketball part content on a practice, with a busy week, maybe maximum the practice can be 45 minutes, 1 hour. So there's no time to too many drills. There are some drills like cell drills on defense of rotations that we repeat to finally be automatic. And offense, when you play, take breaks to teach the players on how you do this. Or even make a stop when we are playing the 5-on-5. Hey, this defense, read this, where we have the advantage, where the space, where we need to create the space. Being stubborn, it's like they used to say like this. So maybe it's a good definition to a coach. We have to be.
Okay. That's good. Thank you, Coach, for all the insights, all the sharings. I think I think for those who will be listening to this episode will get a lot of like quality information from you, Coach.
Now, thank you to you. For me, it's a big surprise that a podcast from Malaysia want to interview me. But I really feel right now how the situation on Asian basketball with the Eastern Asia Super League back before was the Asian League, and now back to this competition, and even now the BCL Asia is connecting more the countries, connecting more the teams. That's something that is really good for the basketball in Asia. We have in Europe the European competitions and are really good. It helps us to improve our basketball. And I'm pretty sure that all these tournaments are going to help. Maybe countries are smaller on the numbers of teams that they have, like happened for us in Taiwan, that this is the third year a little bit like playing the ESAL. The second ESAL complete because the year before was short. But I feel that this experience, because I'm watching what my team is helping a lot the players to grow. So every country, like now Matrix playing the BCL. Last year, the BCL was a little bit shorter. This like only like windows, and now playing home and away games, playing more games is going to help to everybody to be better.
Yeah. You mentioned like it's becoming a huge community in Asia right now. It's a basketball family. Like it's a big family.
Yeah.
And you talk about the platform, right? Just a lot of fans, like the Pilots fans or even the Taiwanese fans, that think because of the East Asia Super League, Justin has improved so much because he played in this this platform against good opponents?
Yeah, this is the key. It's the same that we talk about. Like, it's not about like you have your minutes. It's about against who you play also, and it's about against who you compete your minutes on your team. And maybe one of the biggest problems I know that can be on these countries is the size, and they want to protect the local bigs to play minutes. But on the moment that you find one or two locals with size and they are playing every week against American players, they are going to improve much more than if they are playing against all the locals that they are shortened and they take advantage. So this is important on playing these international competitions, because you can be the best of your neighborhood, we can say, but now you need to move outside your neighborhood, and always is good.
Yep, that's right. I'm looking forward to see you in person in Macau, and then when you come to Malaysia, I'll show you around. Yeah. I'll show you around in Malaysia.
I have to say that I never been. I remember how I text you. I never been there, and I hope that I can have a chance to, of course, win the game. Win the game, but visit the famous Petronas Towers also, because it's maybe one of the best pictures that we see from Malaysia to the world, the famous Petronas Towers.
We have Petronas Tower, and now we have the 118. It's right.
Yeah, you told me that.
I show you the picture, right? It's right opposite of the stadium, just right opposite you.
Yeah.
When you stand in front of the stadium, you just look up.
Yeah.
The building is there.
Right. Yeah, nice. But these are like some cities that now I have a chance to visit, like when we play Korea, cities that maybe without basketball, I was never going to be there. So it's a plus extra for the experience of the basketball. That is not only what happened around the four lines and the two rims.
Okay. So, Coach, do you have any like final words for our listeners in this episode?
Hope that they enjoy. Invite them to, if they really want to be growing, to be a teacher means that you are going to be a student the rest of your life. So being a coach means that we need to keep learning, keep studying, and try to use all their time that they have free to watch other coaches, even sometimes watch coaches that you can be thinking that they are not good. But we can learn from them the small details that maybe we didn't put attention, and invite them for this, to don't stop learning, to don't stop studying.
Okay. Thank you. Once again, thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks to you.
Mucho gracias.
My pleasure.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Very good. Muy bien.
All right. See you around. I see you in Macau.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you in Macau.
Bye. And that's a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share with your friends. Stay tuned for more interviews in our next episode. Until then, I'm Jordan. See you.